There are historical events that I was not alive to witness, one of them being the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact that divided Europe into two spheres of influence of the Third Reich and of the Soviet Union. I would have never guessed that I would see that again happening, repeating itself in my lifetime, but it is. And this time it's not Germany and Soviet Union, it's Russia and United States. I feel betrayed. 28-point peace deal. I cannot call it that, it's not a peace deal. Was leaked online by the Russians. First of all, to lessen the credibility of the United States, they leaked it on purpose. And it's going over the heads of Ukrainians and over the heads of the Europeans to decide something. To decide the future of Ukraine without any Ukrainian involvement. I will go through the most important points, not all of them, it takes too much time. Number 1, security and political status of Ukraine. Now I remind, these are the points that United States and Russia secretly agreed upon to end the war. It's just, it's Molotov-Ribbentrop 2.0. Ukraine is non-aligned and will write not joining NATO into its constitution. NATO confirms that Ukraine will never join. The size of the Ukrainian armed forces is restricted. How much? Well, up to 600,000 troops, so it's about 50% reduction of the armed forces, pretty much making sure if Russia, not if, but when Russia decides to invade in the future, Ukraine cannot resist. These are Russian maximalist demands being written down by the Americans, and now the Americans are forcing Ukrainians to accept it, which they never will, and they never should, and we as Europeans also will not accept it. I'm saying these points, this peace deal is dead in the water immediately as it was leaked online. Territorial issues. Crimea, Donetsk and Luhansk are recognized as de facto as Russian. Kherson and Zaporizhia are frozen along the line of contact. Some territories become a demilitarized buffer zone under de facto Russian control. Both sides commit to not change the borders by force. So it is even a bit funny and ironical. I mean, this war was started by Russia in 2014 when they funded and militarized the separatist movement in eastern Ukraine, in Donbass and Luhansk. Full-scale invasion was started by Russia. These both two conflicts were initiated by Russia using force to change the country's borders. And now they're gonna write in that we don't want to use force to change the country's borders. I mean, you can see the hypocrisy in that. Number 3, military arrangements. NATO does not station troops in Ukraine. NATO fighter jets are based in Poland. Creation of a US-Russia working group. Well, as we found out with the leaked document, there already is a US-Russia working group going over the heads of the Ukrainians and the Europeans. Honestly, me personally, I feel very betrayed right now. I mean, I'm in Estonia. Imagine what the Ukrainians feel. I would have never guessed I'm alive to see something like this. Russia legally commits to a policy of non-aggression towards Ukraine and Europe. I mean, you cannot sign any deals with Russia because it has no effect whatsoever. Let's all remember when Russia, Ukraine and United States signed the last deal in the 90s where Ukraine gave away thousands of nuclear weapons. Was it up to 6,000 of them? Like, they were the third largest nuclear country in the world. They gave it all away. Russia and United States both signed a paper that said that they would protect Ukraine in the event of a foreign invasion. Well, it was Russia who invaded, and now it's the United States who siding with Russia. So yeah, no deals with Russia, only military force. Number 4, economic bloc and Ukraine's reconstruction. The United States would take 50% of the profits of rebuilding Ukraine. If you think about what profits, well, rebuilding or building something is a very profitable thing. United States would take 50% of the profits. I mean, this stinks like Trump. He wants to make money out of everything and to make 50% of the profits of building up people's homes that lost it due to aggression from the Russians. I mean, we're not gonna push the Russians back. We're gonna take profit of building up these people's homes. I'm gonna be sick, honestly. Other frozen Russian assets to be allocated to joint United States Russia projects. How simp can you be to Putin? Number 5, and this is one of the worst ones, honestly, Russia in the global system. Gradual lifting of the sanctions. I will stop here because Russia, under sanctions, finds it incredibly difficult to make money. All of the money the Kremlin makes is going to the military, so if you lift the sanctions, I will translate it to the Western language. We will give Russia hundreds of billions of dollars to build up their military so they can invade us later. This is the first point about the lifting of the sanctions. Russia returned to the G8, long-term US-Russia economic cooperation. Horrible. Number 6, all-for-all prisoner exchange, including civilians and the children. Russia has kidnapped over 100,000 children from occupied Ukrainian lands, and they are militarizing them in the military camps all across Russia, so when they get 18 they can mobilize them. Why haven't they given them back as a sign of goodwill? And all for all, there is lists of these people who have been kidnapped by Russians. Russians may just claim that these are not prisoners. They are in Russia with free will, which they're not. They were kidnapped. I am sorry for not believing any of these points from the Russians because they have not fulfilled any of their promises in the past. I love the point of rejection of Nazi ideology as stated in the document. I'm guessing this is Russians putting this piece in. But this is such a mirror here. This would be told about them. They have a very strong fascist and Nazi ideology ruling the country right now. And it's such a hypocritical irony to put this in. Election to be held 100 days after signing the agreement. Well, if any way or any conditions this war end, there will be elections immediately. Because Ukraine is a democratic country and Zelensky has overstayed his duration because of the war. When this ends, there will be elections. The agreement is legally binding, much like the agreement in the 90s where Ukraine gave away thousands of nuclear warheads to be protected by Russia and the United States in course of invasion. Was that legally binding? I don't think it was. It wasn't. Oversight carried out by a peace council chaired by Donald Trump. Wow, Mr. Trump is gonna make sure these Russians will never invade again by giving Russians Ukrainian land and reducing Ukrainian army in half. You wanna know, my friends, how you make sure Russians never invade again? You increase the size of your army, not reduce it, and you don't give the Russian land, you take it. This peace proposal, which is in fact a Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact 2.0, is dead in the water. It was dead as soon as it was leaked by the Russians. By the way, that the Russians leaked it, they lessened the United States' credibility. If a document like that is leaked, it's supposed to be secret, such a major document, and the Russians leaked it on purpose to make the United States look like fools. Who is behind this document? Well, we know it. According to the Wall Street Journal, the latest 28-point peace proposal, I cannot call it a peace proposal, aimed at ending the conflict in Ukraine. Again, it's not a conflict, it's a war, it's a full-scale invasion by Russia, was developed by Secretary of State Marco Rubio, Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner. Wow, what a dream trio right here. And between Putin's confidant Kirill Dmitriev, with almost no input from Ukrainian government or president. This was leaked about 2 days ago, and today we got information that Trump's presidential administration is putting immense pressure on Ukrainian government and president to sign this peace deal. I am saying right here and now that the Ukrainians will never sign it, the Europeans will never agree to it, and Ukrainian people and soldiers will never agree to it. This is a capitulation plan, not a peace plan. This is a plan to give Ukraine to the Russians. We have seen it happening time and time again with the Russians. It was the first Chechen war, which ended with a peace treaty. And then Putin invaded again. By the way, what makes the United States look like fools, and it was deliberately done by the Russians to make it look like that. Witkoff accidentally leaked the source of the secret US-Russia plan online. Trump's special envoy appears to have mistaken a private messages and publicly stated that journalists had received information about the secret negotiation from a man named K. So the K, probably Kirill Dmitriev, Putin's special envoy, like Witkoff is for Trump. Thing is, this plan was leaked, right? Somebody tweeted about this plan in X, and Witkoff responded he must have got this from K, such a high-ranking administration member, special envoy, tweeting this about a plan that shouldn't exist and shouldn't be leaked. This is a communication fiasco for the United States, and it was orchestrated like that by the Russians. And the Russians have really gotten their information packet ready for this operation, because one day after this deal was leaked, it's really bad communication fiasco for the US, right? They release Putin in uniform saying this, and I'll read you the subtitles. We will strictly speaking, we already understand what Ukraine's political leadership is. This is no longer a political leadership. Since March of last year, a group of individuals, a criminal gang, an organized criminal group, March last year, has usurped power, and under the pretext of the need to continue the war with Russia, they are holding on to power in Ukraine for the sake of personal enrichment. Okay, so he's laying out this propaganda framework for this narrative, right? It comes out immediately after this document is leaked, and Americans are taking the blame for the leakage. It's so bad. It's communication levels, it's so bad that Russia is controlling this narrative and now guiding this narrative by releasing this clip, claiming Ukrainians have no reason to govern in their own land, defending themselves from a Russian invasion. They have no reason to do that. It's horrible. And you can see I have so many emotions about this. And at the same time, Russians, Putin is fed information that Ukrainians are collapsing any moment now. The front is collapsing any moment. He was fed that Pokrovsk is surrounded, that Kupiansk is controlled, neither of which are true, by the way. He's fed that we have destroyed all of Ukrainian electrical infrastructure. They will capitulate any moment. Push this now, push Trump now, yada yada. So, what is the real truth? I will bring you Budanov, the intelligence chief of Ukrainians, who gives us the real outline what's going on. In another interview, you said that in order for the Russian-Ukrainian war to end. So talking about this, peace proposal in the brackets that's supposed to end this war. No, you cannot end it with a pen and paper. This time is over. You end it with weapons now. A whole bunch of factors for a peace agreement need to be reached. A whole bunch of factors have to be in Russia, Ukraine, and Europe, and on the outer contour, and in the United States of America. Are we now closer to this convergence? Or have we moved further away from it during this time? We will be approaching this in the winter. Let me put it this way. Our window will reopen in mid-February. All events will take place sometime in early or mid-February. This comes from the chief intelligence of Ukraine. He knows what he's talking about, and let me open his position up. He doesn't explain it, but I know why. Thing is, Russians have bombarded Ukrainian civil electrical and heating and gas infrastructure every winter. Every winter Ukraine has held. Now Russian leadership has been reported information that this winter we will break them. The front is collapsing. We took Pokrovsk, we took Kupiansk, both of which are lies, by the way. Ukrainian electrical infra is collapsing. Winters are coming. It's going colder. If we keep hammering them, this is where we win the war. But also Russian state budget is collapsing. Their export capabilities of gas and oil are being struck by Ukrainians all the time. Russians are also stretching. They're selling gold now to fill the budget. The point is, Russia also needs a break, like Ukraine. But they have this information that this winter Ukrainians will break. So it comes down to this, what Budanov is talking about. If Ukraine holds until mid-February, when the cold season will start to end, Russia will lose the ability to manipulate with the cold weather and destroying the heating infrastructure and electrical infra, and they will lose that weapon. If that is over, it's not gonna be until next winter when that time arrives again. There's no strength anymore. So then they understand, okay, we gotta end this war. We cannot carry. The Ukrainians, they lasted for 4 winters. We cannot hammer them into oblivion. So yeah, this is what Budanov is talking about. Ukrainian hardest 3 months are now, starting now, December, January, February. When they survive this, then there's a convergence of realities in different countries, in Russia and in Ukraine, for really talk about ending this war. But not now, definitely not now. I will keep you posted about this Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact 2.0 in the next video on Monday. But now I have a few videos from the Russian front, Russian soldiers filming themselves, which I want to watch with you. I bring to you, my friends, the commander of the 218th Tank Regiment. And this is, I mean, we have subtitles thanks to War Translator. This is what he promises to do with his own soldiers. If you don't listen to commands, if you abandon your tasks, I swear to you on my mother's life, I swear on my children's lives, I will personally shoot you. I'll report everyone missing. And then I'll shoot everyone. I don't give an F who's above you. All of you, your whole group, you effing bastards, except for that man over here, there. I'm telling you, prove that you are men. You can see the threats here. I will report that you're missing. This is not a threat against a man, this is a threat against the man's family. You shoot a man, but if you report him missing in the Russian army, that means his mother, father, children, wives, whoever, they will not get any bonuses from the Russian Ministry of Defense. If he goes missing, we don't know if he's dead, we cannot give out the bonuses, and they're massive. We're talking about tens of thousands of USD in Russia. So if they're missing, that's taking away all of the money from the man's family, and the men are standing right here, so that's a threat against the family. It will kill the man and take away the money from the family. That's a deep threat. Now, my friends, I'll bring you another commander from another unit, the commander of the 247th Guards Air Assault Caucasian Cossack Regiment. Now, Air Assault has to tell you that these are not meat assault troops. They have the best gear, they have the best training, they're not sent to zero line without a proper need to be there. And in this regiment, we're still seeing behavior like this. Check it out, so that everyone can see, and you'll send it. I'll tell you where the F. What? Turn this effing way. You always turn this way. All of these guys have been stripped naked. It's November. Wherever you are in occupied Ukraine, it's cold as hell at night already. It's -degrees. If you're like that, you're gonna get hypothermia extremely fast. They're gonna be put into the pit. Within hours, these guys are hypothermia, dead. What the F, you effing animal. Everyone stand up. Back all the F. I'll effing arrange that for you. By the way, these are air assault troops. These are the troops similar that were sent to take Hostomel airport. These were supposed to be the first attack elite. You know, they opened the way for everybody else, like Rangers lead the way. But that's the Russian Rangers. They're putting their men in pit. You effing bitches. Effing bastards. Hate the boys, damn it. Quickly get the F into the pit. Run and F each other. You effing horse. Run, you fat bitch. Damn it, I cannot. It's too much. My friends, I made an overview to you of all of the punishments in the Russian army. It's a very fast, quick overview of what Russian officers prefer to use as punishing methods. There's 5 different categories. I labeled them all out for you. Link is in the description below. We have pits, we have taping to the trees, with everything with footage. Just go and check it out. I'm not going to talk about it in this video anymore. It would get too long. I'll continue with videos from the Russian army. In this one, we can see Russian soldiers being trained to take down FPVs with sticks. With sticks. I mean, you always see these videos of FPVs diving in and they're throwing their Kalashnikov using sticks. I mean, it ends how it ends always. In this one, yeah, he's beating up the FPV. It's a training video, but Ukrainian pilots... If you hit an FPV with a stick 2 meters away from you, it will explode and take you with it. I don't understand. Why is this being trained? It will not help the soldier whatsoever. It will just explode a little bit away from you and still take you with it. Always. There's no question. These FPVs have... Like, these explosives have shrapnel in them, which... This is a useless tactic, but they're teaching this. I don't know why. Don't ask me. But I just gotta share it with you. This is the second army in Ukraine, man. The quality says so. This next video comes from Russian Telegram channel Dva Mayora, 2 Majors, and it shows a Russian drone with a burning clothing, however you call this. It's designed to start fires in Ukrainian positions or in these houses, but hey, why just not use explosive or incendiary explosive on the drone? Why the pipe and the burning sock play here? I mean, you could just use an explosive with incendiary insides. But it's just a Russian way of solving problems. We want to burn them, so let's not use explosive. Let's use a pipe and a burning sock. I guess. Yeah, you gotta innovate, man. That's how it is. My friends, on 19th of November, a western Ukrainian city of Ternopil was attacked with Russian missiles. These missiles struck 2 residential buildings and an industrial warehouse. In these 2 buildings, over 25 Ukrainians got killed. This is one of the deadliest Russian terror attacks against Ukrainian civilians. You can see what was left of the building. And the worst part is, it tears me apart that a huge portion of the deceased, of the victims, were children, toddlers, there were babies even. I mean, you look, there's still people right now trapped under this rubble. It was a extremely horrible attack, and I usually don't report these attacks, but I cannot leave it unmentioned. It's hard to even add any words to this. It's a pure evil from hell, and it should not exist. This attack, these people who commissioned this attack, the officer who put in the coordinates, should not exist. It's an attack not against the military, but against civilians, and specifically against children. Look, these are the photos of, and I'm asking you to look on the screen now. These are the photos of the children who got killed with this missile, which was coordinated. It was not a mistake. Coordinated into an apartment building where these kids were. They're all gone now. Vitaly Dalinyak and his son David were killed today by Russian missiles in the city of Ternopil. He was a volunteer and a founder of a local company. His wife is now in intensive care, and their 2 young daughters are in the hospital. This is Vitaly, this is his son David. They're dead now. This is the wife, and 2 girls are in the hospital in intensive care. And I'm asking you to look on screen to see their faces, to witness this war crime that the Russians are doing, and think again back to the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact I'm talking about at the beginning of this video, which is selling Ukrainian people basically into slavery of Russia, taking away their freedom. This is the pact. This is not a peace plan. This is a plan of capitulation, and Russia is killing Ukrainian civilians, and now there is a plan to just give Russia all power over these Ukrainian families. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you think I'm yapping here, when Russia takes control of an area of a country, they have lists. They always follow the same plan. They eliminate everybody who they don't like, who they deem as a threat, basically people who think for themselves, who are civil society, who are active, who are keeping up the, Estonians or Latvians, Lithuanians. If they keep up the culture, they're gonna eliminate them. So This is a family who keeps up the values of Ukrainians, who speaks Ukrainian. They have 3 children. They're obviously a threat to the Russian regime. So if Russians take control of this area, they would eliminate them. They're already doing that with missiles, but then they would do it with soldiers. So yeah, this is how it is connected. 3 kids are still missing. Chances that they'll be found alive are very low. Even relatives understand that. Many were injured too. Unfortunately, Russians continue to kill children because they always get away with it. And they get away with it until we allow them to get away with it. Until there is discussion and communication with the Russians. At this point, you don't talk to them. You kick their arses. Then you talk to them. Talking to them right now gives them credibility, allows them to manipulate you, because this is what they do. Unfortunately, this is what we're seeing in this peace plan, capitulation plan. And I want to watch this video also from one of the destroyed houses. I mean, these are children's blankets. This entire area is burned. This is photos. This is somebody's lives, somebody's whole family. I mean, I know many of you who are watching are 40, 50, 60, 70 years old. You have children, you have maybe even grandkids. What if Russian missile would take away all your grandkids right now in this instance? How would you feel? What would you want to do? If this would happen in like West Germany, UK, America, Russian missile falls into an apartment and you get a call that you lost 3 of your grandkids. I know this is a very unpleasant thought, but I don't have the luxury to not think about that here in Estonia. Same goes to every country who has ever bordered Russia, because that's how it is living next to Russia. That's why we know exactly what to do with that. And it's so hard to explain that to the Western Europeans or to sometimes Americans. This is a Ukrainian drone which has a text, "For Ternopil, burn in hell." I stand by these words until the rest of my days. And I know I cannot end with this Ternopil catastrophe terror attack, so I have to take you and myself to Russia, where we have to watch something burn to get some hope back into humanity. You know, when you see something burning in Russia, at least my hope for humanity restores. And in this case, it was saboteurs or Russian partisans, whatever they are, whoever they are, they don't like what Kremlin is doing. So in Perm, a Russian city of Perm, they blew up an entire oil train, fuel train. Let's watch the video and look at that. Beautiful fire in Russia. Burn in hell, please. Yes, never go out. Eternal flames in Russia. That's what I want to see. And these flames were seen quite far away. I mean, people were filming it all over. Nice little flame at the middle of the night. This is the aftermath. Destroyed, what is it, like 7 fuel trains, fuel carts. They burned empty. This is what I want to see, and it's beautiful and fills my heart with restored faith to humanity. And this is not enough. Let's now go to Omsk, city in Siberia in Russia, where natural gas pipeline went kaboom. Again, we gotta watch it for Friday, because you and me both, after this Ternopil catastrophe, we gotta go and gotta open a cold brewski with the friends and remember these kids. And I need this. Open flame, explosion in Russia. Natural gas pipeline goes up in flames in Omsk city, because Russians, they don't maintain their pipelines, so they explode time to time. Sometimes they make these brown fountains which freeze, giving us icicles. That's also a nice sight, but I wouldn't even say no to this fireball. It's always nice to see it burn. Last video, enjoy it, my friends. A mushroom cloud it was for a moment. Oh, okay. You know, even put smiles to my face. I will end with this video, because this is what I need for my weekend. Burn in hell. Thank you for watching, my friends. I will be back for you on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Also, the video about Russian army punishments is in the description below. Put a lot of effort into that video, so go and check it out. I think not many of you have seen it yet. Just go, first link in the description. I'll see you, my friends. Bye-bye. My friends, you have been with me for almost 4 years now. We have seen that united, we can make a difference in this war. We can help the Ukrainians. And you did help them. You donated. Not once, not twice, but 8 times. For 8 times I traveled to Ukraine to hand over the tens of trucks and hundreds of drones you bought for the Ukrainian units. These trucks and drones directly saved Ukrainian soldiers' lives. Soldiers who got to live another day, fight another day for their homes and families. Here on YouTube, I have not been able to tell you the whole story, the truth about what happened while I was in Ukraine. Countless times we fell under Russian drone and missile attacks. Countless times I felt the fear of death. And countless times I promised myself that I will not stop out of fear. On my final mission in Ukraine, my wife was with me. In fact, we spent our honeymoon in a war zone in Ukraine, the best honeymoon one can hope for. Here you can see her shooting guns with the SBU Alpha Group, the best special forces Ukraine has to offer. All of this is written down for you in my book, 8 Missions in Ukraine. I ask you to read it, to witness everything I witnessed, to share these experiences, because this is our story through this war, and it is intertwined with the story of Ukrainian people. Get 8 missions in Ukraine through the link in the description below. Get it for yourself. Get it for someone who cares about the Ukrainian people's fight for freedom. United, my friends, we will win. Slava Ukraini!